Hello again. Just an update to the previous video with this build that's been ongoing. Well, it's definitely been a challenge using Chisels and Bits mod to make this bespoke timbered structure. It's left me with a few challenges in terms of placing things internally in the spaces created, just because the collision blocks and such aren't where you might expect them to be for the shape of the rooms and things. So you get kind of gaps near the walls and all the rest of it. But if we tour around the outside, you can see it's largely complete. I'm quite pleased with the way it's turned out overall, definitely. Got it wrong in the last video. It's not tufa, it's stucco plasterwork, the infill between the beams. It's one of the Conquest Reforged block textures. It's rather nice, I think. It works well, obviously being plasterwork, so it looks well in situ, in my opinion. And it has the added advantage that there are quite a few different colour variants as well, so you can mix up the colours if you wanted to build using this style. Sort of give a bit of variation to the way a group of buildings might look. So if I do another one, then it's possible I might use something different in the way of colours for the next build. But yeah, it's just having a look around the exterior. I've punched a few windows through into the kitchen area. Yes, there's one at ground level, but in all honesty, I don't think medieval people were terribly bothered about damp-proof coursing. So I might dig out a little drainage area in front of it, but hey, that's no biggie. So we made a tour of the outside. We'll pop in. I'll nip down into the kitchen. See that window there with some rusted iron bars. There we are. Kitchen's largely done. We've got some sausages. Yep, that's right. Some herbs hanging up and things. There we go. Some of the furnishings I made myself with chisels and bits. We've got this bench here and the table. I've used these bits. I've kind of made some modular bits that I can place as I see fit, you know. And there's a few different bits I can stick together basically in my inventory and sort of arrange them according to the space that I'm wishing to fit them into. There's a few more individual pieces like this shelf here, for instance. I ended up using purple. I think it's purple, isn't it? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm good with this stuff. Yeah, I used purple for metallic looking blocks because it seems to end up looking more metallic than any of the iron blocks and block variants that it seems to be able to find. So that's why that is that. I've been trying to using flat coloured blocks. I can never say that right. Flat coloured blocks and trying to knock up a few bottles as well. I'm not entirely sure of their whether, well, I don't know if I'm going to go with them or not. Do a bit of alteration. There's some more loops there. Restructured the stairs from, if you have seen the previous video, then I've had a bit of a restructuring, but I think they've worked out slightly better. And plenty of boxes and barrels around in the undercrofts, like so. We nip out, we've got some bales of hay. We've got this lovely Conquest texture, fish scale cobble and dirty fish scale cobble, as you see. So they work quite well in conjunction with each other. Into the stable, which has made an appearance since the last vid. It's sort of arched over in two dimensions, and the aspects of the courtyard. Some of it's quite similar, and a few things have changed. So I've got this galleried area. I really did want to carry the gallery from the porch area across there, but it would have made trouble with the lighting. That window there, for instance, into the room, just directly in front of us now. And a few other things. It's excuse me. It's the spacing, like I say, with these architecture craft roof pieces and using chisels and bits to make walls. I just couldn't get a good configuration for the roofing, so I just used got in doors in and out of the rooms instead of carrying the gallery across the external face of the building there. Let's just nip outside. I'm having a go at blending the cobble slowly into dirt and grass there. I think it's coming out okay. I'm just experimenting really with textures. There's a lot to play with, so yeah. So courtyard aspect once again. Like I said, I'm pleased with it. Didn't go with the balustrade on the stairs. Tried with some architecture craft bits, but I wasn't too happy with the way they turned out, so just figured I'd have an unguarded staircase. Although I did copy the architecture craft railings a little bit and made my own, carved them out of the same material that these beams are made from. And that was simply because rather than using the architecture craft bits, chisels and bits, you can position things with a lot more versatility. You've got much more sort of open positioning ability, so that's why I've used that. Okay, close the door, that would help. So nip inside. I've got more of these bottles and such, taking the vista. I don't know, I'm not sure about these bottles. I'm not sure what's letting them down quite, possibly the choice of blocks that I've made. But it worked out reasonably. I'm fairly well furnished, like I say. We've got tables and benches strewn about the place with a certain amount of order. We're not sure about balls. Anyway, yeah. So we can nip round. It's just about space to move. We've made a few cups as well, and because fill them with liquid as well. You can even get water blocks with chisels and bits, so that's very helpful. Adds a little bit more realism to things. We'll pop this way onto the gallery. I'm finding it quite hard to open and close doors with the F1 enabled. But yeah, I've got these 3 little rooms anyway. I'm not finished furnishing these at the minute. These are their sort of, as mentioned in the previous vid, they're all rather similar. And they're for people of lower rank, I'd imagine. We've got 3 rather nicer rooms upstairs in the main part of the building. So that's those. Over the stables. I see I've been building out my door frames. I can't stand doors that sit flat with the wall, so you might notice as we tour around, I've built out these door frames with, again, more chisels and bits parts, either internally or externally, so that they don't just sit flush with the wall or their surrounding. There's a sort of 3-dimensional element to them. Okay, if I can't shut this door, then I'm going to move on. So we come back into this room. It works okay. I would have liked that gallery across the external wall here, but couldn't get it to fix. Couldn't fix it up right, so I did go with the door. If you've seen the previous video, I went for the extra door into here. It helps with the circulation and such between various parts of the building. So rather than just having the single double door, yep, got this single door over here. Some more purple bits there for. I'm not sure what they are. It's a fire grate, I guess. Stops you wandering through the flames absent-mindedly in a beer-induced stupor. A couple more bits to go in here. Got to might put a leg under that. I want to put a big old bench or a settle or something in that against that wall, perhaps something of that nature. I don't think there's room for anything in the middle here. There's the upper part of the stairs we saw earlier. Little railing knocked together with the chisels and bits again. And got the vault looking a bit nicer because it was just across this side before, and I've got a bit of a return on this side now due to restructuring the stairs. I was a bit dissatisfied with the way it was previously, as you might have seen. So pop back into here, and we'll take it and wander up the stairs. If you didn't see the previous vid, I've got used again chisels and bits. It's great for the spacing, so it's about the narrowest you can get a spiral stairs. I've got pretty much a 1/4 block wide newel post, so it's quite good for tucking things in like that. It's as much as there can be a disadvantage with the way collision boxes turn out and all the rest of it, and placing objects nearby your custom-made walls and spacings. It has a good sort of advantageous nature in the way it looks, I think. And general spacing and considerations such as that. More of these railings I had to do a bit of hand sort of work to just tidy them up a bit. They're not as nice to place as architecture craft railings, but there is the advantage that you can place them pretty much anywhere, which is a good thing. In fact, I can probably show you the saving grace of this entire thing has been I'll have a quick look. I'll show you now. The saving grace of this entire thing has been this wonderful. Yeah, we'll just snip on number 6. This block placement interface from Chisels and Bits, fantastic. You can see you've got pretty much every 2 pixels. You can see on the floor there. You can place the thing anywhere if you hold down Shift. There's a sort of generic placement, and it'll basically where it can't be placed. You can see it. I'll show you in a sec. There, it fades out, but that has been an absolute godsend when it came to positioning everything for this build. And I don't know if anyone else built an entire building like this, but another aspect of it was wishing to see if well, I've read of people suffering lag and such with huge amounts of chiseled bits, but absolutely no problems. I mean, this laptop that I'm working on, it's a dual core. It's an i5 2.6 gig, and it's got a GeForce 940M graphics card, which is cooking the battery most of the time. But yeah, so it's not exactly the greatest spec. I'm limited to recording right now for 60 frames, and it's getting a flat 60. And I've seen as much as 160 while wandering around this thing. So despite this huge amount of chiseled blocks that you see surrounding us, we've got pretty good frames per second count, considering the spec of the hardware. Yes. Anyway, this is one of the slightly nicer rooms. It's probably the least nice of the nicer rooms, but here we are. Got a fireplace. I was thinking about sticking a communal latrine in somewhere, but never got around to it in the end. Excuse me. It just never ended up happening, so people would have to go with the Gardy-Loo technique of do your business in a bucket and throw it out the window. So that's the evolutionary arrangements for this place in general. So here's the second room. I'm not too sure about these curtains on the wall, but I think overall it's worked out quite well. Keep saying that, but I'm quite happy. Still need to do some windowsills, I think, just to tidy these up. I'm not too keen on the way the plaster and the beams protrude like that, so I might just stick some sills in. A bit of messing about. But I've knocked together some, well, again, Chisels and Bits, using the Conquest textures and Chisels and Bits combined. We've got these rather more fancy bed ends going on, and bespoke tables and such. You can see, hold on, I'll see if we can get this collision block thing going on. Got ender bags as well. No, I don't know. Yeah, you can see, look, they're not exactly where you might expect them to be. So this table's sort of halfway between 2 blocks and things. And again, there you can just about catch. That's a block space there, and then there's a half of one going into that wall. Excuse me. Got another mug there, fashioned out of some clay. Anyway, yeah, it's made the spacing a little bit funny there, but being able to position things within a 2-pixel sort of area has definitely been a great bonus. So just knocked together a few bespoke bits and bobs, furniture-wise, just to fill in these odd gaps. I didn't mention the chandelier. I'm not sure if it's worth mentioning, to be honest, but yeah, had to go with a chandelier, so that's that. And finally, I think this is the most prestigious of the rooms. Yeah, had to go a Canopy Bed, and we'll go over here and take it all in, see what you guys think. I'm in love with these Conquest blocks. They're amazing, so being able to chop them up a little bit and use them for nefarious purposes. I think you don't get the connected textures on everything. You do on the glass, but not so much on some of the other blocks. But it doesn't bother me. I think they give you some beautiful blocks to work with, and I think I've managed to cobble them together into something that's hopefully not going to offend the eye too much. So yeah, there's some awesome bookshelves. Again, Conquest, epic. So yeah, this is the nicest room I think out of all of them. I threw together a little goblet there and some other trinkets on these other shelves. And that's pretty much it. It's almost done, I think. A couple of items of furniture to go, and I might rediddle the bottles. That's the technical term. But yeah, I think in general terms, the place has come together quite nicely. It caused a few headaches using this odd build technique, but I think I'll definitely carry on using it despite that. I'll probably learned a few things with this, and we'll see if I could make it go together a little bit quicker. I doubt I'll be building a building of this size and stature too soon anyway. I'll probably go for a few smaller houses and such. So yeah, have a quick zoom around the outside. It'd be helpful if I was actually looking at the building. I think the chimney stacks, I don't know, they're a little bit clunky, a bit too chunky perhaps, but I don't think you noticed it too badly from down at ground level. So yeah, there we are. Anyway, don't bother liking or subscribing because I'm still terrible at making videos, but I hope you liked this build, and probably have a few more bits and bobs to come soon. I'll add a few more buildings to the village. In the meantime, wish you all the best. Take care.